Thank you for joining us for College Commons Week as we explore the next steps in the college admissions process. My name is Janine Coutu and I'm with the College Foundation of West Virginia. We are extremely excited to host our second annual College Commons Week event, an opportunity that allows us to work together with college campuses to help students navigate the college going process. This evening, we are pleased to announce that a representative from Glenville State College has joined us today for this webinar series. Joining us from Glenville State College is admissions counselor Angelica Nichols. Thank you for joining CFWV for this new statewide initiative. Through this initiative, we aim to help West Virginia students and families prepare for and transition to college. As I get ready to turn the presentation over to our presenter, I ask that you use the chat box to ask any questions you may have throughout our time together this evening. Staff will address those questions and ensure that they are answered before we conclude today's webinar. This webinar is being recorded and will be made available on cfwv.com later this week. With that being said, Angelica, welcome, and now I turn this webinar over to you. Angelica, you're muted.
Thank you. I just wanted to thank everybody that's watching and I'll just get started. If anybody is familiar with Glenville, then that's great. But if you're unfamiliar with Glenville, we're a smaller Division II campus in the middle of West Virginia. We're surrounded by 7 lakes, so it's a very outdoorsy area. And we have a lot of athletics on campus. That's probably where a lot of our students come from. They are athletes, but going into applying to our campus, I'll get us started. So to apply, you can apply online at glenville.edu/apply. That's where you can start your application. But after you apply, all we'll need in the admissions office is your high school transcripts. We'll start with unofficials until you graduate. And once you graduate, we'll take your final, and that's when we'll evaluate those, the GPA and your classes that you were taking, just to see if you would get any GSC credits. And then once we get that official, that is also where we'll take that GPA in consideration for scholarship opportunities. And then if you have any credits coming in from any colleges, say you did dual enrollment, we would evaluate that to see if we could get you credits for like your Englishes and your math classes. And then behind that, if you are a student on campus, we will need your immunization records. And then right now we are test optional, but test scores, if you have them, they help with scholarship opportunities as well. So test scores definitely won't hurt you right now. They never do. So that's something that we would be reaching out to you to make sure that you turn everything in. That's kind of our job in the admissions office, is to help you get everything you need to go to college put together. And we will hold your hand until we pass you on to your advisor, who will help you with classes. Financial aid, the FAFSA has no deadline, and our FAFSA code is 00381. So that will also help you with your federal aid. A great person to come in contact with is Sherry Goff. She'll help you when it comes to applying for outside scholarships, explaining how our scholarships work on campus. She'll get you a financial aid estimate, so that way before you come on campus, you'll know how much you have to pay out of pocket, or if you are going to be getting some money back in a refund. We're a very affordable institution. Our in-state per semester is $9,134, and out of state it's roughly close, fairly close. It's $9,948. And then when you're doing your FAFSA, you can do it at www.studentaid.gov. And then right there, if you have the time to take a picture of who to contact to help you with financial aid, you can do that right now. I'll pause for a second. So housing on campus, you'll fill out a housing application after you take care of all of your financial aid. There is a housing deposit that is due before you can come on campus and live in those rooms. Before your application is accepted, it's $100 fee. And that just locks in your spot for a room. You can live on campus or off campus. If you live off campus, there's some restrictions towards that, just to guarantee that students are being responsible for going to classes and stuff like that. So to live off campus, you can live with a parent within 15 miles of our campus, or you can be 21 or meet the credit requirements. What's included in a dorm room is a microwave, a mini fridge, a wardrobe, an extra long twin bed, a desk and a chair, a dresser, and then there is also AC and heating units in the room that is up to your, like, that you have control of. We have cable hookups, so you can bring a television on campus if you were wanting to, and that is included. And then we also have free internet. And probably one of the biggest things is that each floor has their free laundry. So you won't have to come in with a bag of quarters. You can just do your laundry whenever there's a washer or dryer available. The dorms are set up so that way each floor is separated by gender, and then there's very secure so that you have a swipe card that only gets you onto your floor and into that building. So our Academic Success Center is located on the third floor of our library. This is where you will register for your classes as a first year coming in. They are your academic advisors. They will work with the freshmen just to kind of make sure that they're all getting into those classes that are needed to start out your degree. So they will be the people that will be drafting your schedule. And if you have any questions or concerns about that, they will help you through that. If you want to declare a major, if you come in undecided, or if you want to change your major, they will help you through that process. Typically, you fill out a form and turn it into our registrar's office as well. So they will make sure that you are still on track with everything you want to do and okay with how it would switch out. They also offer other services. Each advisor up there covers a different service. So we have tutoring services, veteran services, disability services, and career services. So with the tutoring services, if you're an athlete, your coaches typically have you do study hours, and this is where you'll do that, and you'll check in with these advisors as well, just to make sure that you're staying on top of your grades as a student athlete, as well as they have math and writing tutoring as well. And then if you need tutoring in your specific degree, Michelle Lang does a great job with pairing up with a student that is about to graduate. To tutor you in those classes that are more major based. This also is where they have a mentoring partnership with the students on campus. I was a mentor when I went to Glenville, and this is also another person that if you are overwhelmed, that you can talk to them. They will be that first. It will be more of a student relationship. It's easier to talk to someone that's your age. And then if you're more comfortable, you can always talk to your advisor as well, and they'll always be willing to help you out. With us having such a small campus, everybody it's a very tight-knit community, and we all are watching each other's backs. So now we'll move on to moving in. So when check-in comes around, you'll come in August, you'll check in with the admissions team. We'll make sure we have everything we need from you again, and then we'll get you checked in with your dorm, get your ID card, and then we will also get your books. So this coming up fall, we partnered with Barnes & Noble, and they are now including your books into your tuition. And once your class schedule's set, we'll wrap up all your books together and we'll give them to you when you check in. So now our check-in process is a little bit longer, and we're going to extend it over a week period. Now with COVID as well, we are doing a spit test, and we are also doing a rapid test just to make sure that we're keeping COVID off of our campus. But it won't be required for you to be vaccinated before coming on campus. And then we get into orientation week. So once you're here, you'll have a week-long event, and it'll be a lot of games out throughout campus, and you'll get to meet with a lot of student orgs if that is something that interests you. This is also the time period where you will get the most Glenville gear possible for free. They'll have you make stuff. One year we made license plates. Another year we'll do t-shirts. So it's a really fun time on campus. and just to get to mingle with your peers before you start buckling down in classes. Well, I'm not sure if I did that a little fast, but I just want to thank you for listening. And if you have any questions, feel free to ask.
Thank you so much, Angelica. That was a great presentation. I'm not seeing any questions in the chat, but I'm gonna kind of ask some questions that I've heard earlier today. Can you talk about more of the dining options available on Glenville State's campus?
Yes, so we have two dining options on campus. We have our cafeteria, which is a buffet styled eating area, and that's where I like to eat when I'm really hungry because it's something different every day and you have many different options, and the food is just amazing in there now. And then we have the what we call the Rusty Musket. It's more of it has a mix between I won't say McDonald's because it's not a McDonald's type food, but it's a more quick option to grab food in between classes. And then also has a convenience store as well. So with your meal plan, you'll get a certain amount of meal swipes. I believe it goes from 14 to 28. So there's 3 different options. And then based off of how many swipes you decide to get, you'll get a certain amount of what we call musket bucks. So those are your flex dollars. And that is like money you can spend in the musket. And that also can be reloaded if you want to do that. So that is something that you'll look at also when you come on campus. I feel bad for not putting that in the slideshow, but yeah, your meal plan will be looked at when you come on campus and you'll select which one you want. So if you're one of those people that likes to eat a little bit more, I recommend getting more meal swipes than musket bucks. But if you're constantly a snacker, then I would get more musket bucks than meal swipes.
Great. And then the other question that's really popular that all students want to know is, can first year students bring their car on campus, and what are parking passes prices? What does that look like?
Okay, so our parking passes are currently included in your tuition as well. You can bring a car on campus as a freshman, but we do have a different parking lot that they'll park in. So you'll park over at our Waco Center and then you'll ride the shuttle. Because the Goodwin dorms are right there on campus, it's not even a 5-minute walk to your class. So we really recommend leaving those parking spaces open for kids that are commuting onto campus. We have a lot of commuters and limited parking. So I believe they might be looking at doing a VIP system this next fall or the following spring, where you can pay a little bit more for a parking pass that would put you on campus as a freshman. Just saying, like, I know for athletics, commuting back and forth with the shuttle and going to the Waco Center sometimes can be inconvenient because of like wanting to be there exactly at a certain time. So that would be something that is in the works as well, but it's only $50 on your tuition. And if you don't have a vehicle, you can, there's a waiver where you can get that $50 taken off of your account.
Okay, great. And then you touched on this a little bit, but for those students that don't have a car, is there public transportation available? What does that look like at Glenville State?
So we have 2 shuttles that are going around campus. I believe their rotations take about 30 minutes. We have a couple more facilities on campus now and extra dorm rooms, so it added on to the loop, and then a little bit of construction right now, which should also be done by time fall rolls around. So that time will get cut down a little bit more, especially with 2 going around. So there's shuttle stops throughout campus, and during orientation week, they'll give you a map of campus and show you where those shuttle stops are. And then you just wait at that shuttle stop. They'll pick you up and take you to where you need to go.
Great, thank you so much. And then what about things for students to do outside the classroom, like activities, sports, all of those kind of services?
Okay, so not only do we have our Division II athletics, there's 17 sports there. And then we also have intramural sports that happen in our old gymnasium. So if you want to play something on like just for fun, there's that option as well. And you can do, I believe they have basketball. Occasionally they have dodgeball. I know that the basketball gets very competitive on campus. They have staff members that compete as well. Student activities outside of that, I believe at least once a month, they try to take a week for student activities. And we'll have events like bingo night, paint night, there'll be open mic nights, movie nights. There's a list of everything. And then on top of that, we also have, I believe, 4 sororities and 3 fraternities on campus. They're not your traditional ones with the sorority and frat houses, but they are a smaller group that like to have activities as well. So they'll have their meet and greets, and then they'll host events on their own as well. And then another thing we have is homecoming. So we'll have a homecoming dance for the fall and the winter. And then there's a big tailgate in the parking lot, and there's games outside. This past, well, it was a little odd. It was in the spring instead, but we had a rock wall come and one of those bouncy house slides. There was a lot of different activities out there this time.
Thanks so much. And then a few questions we had today were about student health services. Is there a place on campus that a student could go for minor injuries or a cold or anything like that?
Yes, so we have a campus nurse, and that's where you could go. And then she's located in our Mollahan Community Center. So that's where our fitness center is, and our mail room and our cafeteria. If you were feeling ill, you can go to her. And if there was a little bit more serious, connected to our Waco Center, we have the Minnie Hamilton Health Center also. So there's a full doctor's office right across the street. So there's multiple options there.
Great. And another question is there a campus-wide alert emergency system on your campus?
Yes, so I believe I signed up for it when I was a student, that it goes through your text messages, and then I also have it through your emails. And then if it's something that needed to be broadcasted, we have the speakers in all the buildings as well.
Wonderful. Let's see if you typed. Do you have counseling services available for students at Glenville State?
Yes, we do have counseling services. He is also, his name is Tim Underwood, and his office is located where the campus nurses as well. And he is available from 8 to 4 to meet with students need be. And then he also has a phone number to call if you were wanting to reach out to him during outside of those office hours as well.
Great. Thank you so much for answering all of those questions. Is there anything else you would like to add for those students considering Glenville State or who plan to attend Glenville State?
I would just give some advice. My biggest advice right now is to take advantage of everything that's being virtual now. So if you haven't gotten a chance to come to campus, then I would sit down and go to YouTube and type in Glenville State College. We have a lot of virtual tours posted right now, and there's a lot of students speaking on why they chose Glenville and talking about their degree. So I would definitely take the time to look at not only Glenville, but like you could look at any other college as well. And you can kind of get a feel for the school that way if you can't physically be there. And then another thing is, I know I was a shy student coming into college, but to take that time and ask questions, because questions are really important.
Yeah, thank you so much for that great advice. With that, I would like to thank you, Angelica, and Glenville State College for joining the College Foundation of West Virginia during College Commons Week. Please be sure to reach out to her with any questions that you may have or any of the contacts she shared throughout her presentation. And thank you to those who have joined us to participate in this webinar series. If we could be of any further assistance, please reach out to us at cfwv.com. Thank you so much and have a wonderful evening, everyone.